thing in the SQL Server, that is case when statement. So what exactly this case when will do? Okay, right. So I have the data in this table. Select star from EMP. Okay, so in this table, so what is this department numbers? Department number 10, department number 20, and department number 30. Okay, or the condition what I want to write down, if the department number is 10, so I want to write down the department name as MSBA. If it is 20, Informatica. Other than 10, 20, if anything I want to print, that is data stage. Okay, so how can you write down? So you have to check all these values, and based on the value we have to write down the condition. Like for example, if it is 20, so what value you want to print the department name? I want to print the department name as Informatica. Okay, so if it is 30, then data stage. If it is 10, I want to print MSBA. So where you can write down the condition. By using case when condition, we can achieve these kind of requirements. Okay, right. So what is the syntax? How can we write down? So case when, okay, so what is the case? So when department number equal to 10, then what you want to print? So then I want to print the department name as MSBI. Okay, this is one condition under this case. Then next one more condition is when department number equal to 20, then I want to print Informatica. Okay, so other than 10 and other than 20, if any value, either it is 30, 40, 50, 60, anything, so you have to write down under else. Okay, else, so I want to print data stage. Okay, case when department number equal to 10, then MSBI. When department number 20, then Informatica. Okay, else data stage. Then you have to and as alias name you have to give, the column name is department name. Okay, so this is the case when condition. So what this case when condition will do, it is going to check this department number column. If the value equal to 10, then what it will display? It is 10, so MSBA it will print. If the department number equal to 20, Informatica. Okay, right, so I'm going to execute this command. So what value it will display? See, as per your condition, if it is department number 20, it is displaying Informatica. If it is 30, data stage. If it is 10, MSB it is printing. Okay, so this is the case when condition. You can check on a particular table, on a particular column, based on the value what you want to print, what you want to display, you can specify over here. So one more case when condition I'm going to write down, that is if the salary is greater than 1000, I want to write down, I want to print it's a good. If the salary is less than 1000, I want to print it's a bad. Okay, right. So case when, on which column you have to write down this condition? On the salary column. So case when salary greater than 1000, then good. When salary less than or equal to 1000, then I want to print bad. Only these two conditions I want to display. Okay, so you can write down and as sal condition. So you can execute this one. So why I am not writing any else condition here? Yes, you can write down the else condition over here also. The else means if the salary greater than 1000, it will display good. If other than that condition, if there is anything, it will display bad. Okay, but here what we are writing, there are two conditions we have written. So other than means we didn't write anything for the other values. Only greater than 1000, it will display good. Or if you are removing this equal operator, what will happen? If anywhere the salary is 1000, okay, it don't display anything. It display null. Because greater than 1000, you are displaying good. Less than 1000, you are displaying bad. If it is 1000, then what will happen? Okay, for example, here it is at 1250. Okay, greater than 1250, okay, it will display good. If it is less than 1250, it will display bad. Okay, so here it is 1250. What value it is displaying? Null it is displaying, because in your condition you didn't specify anything about the, if the salary is 1250, what you have to display? You didn't specify, right? So if you are specifying else condition like this way, else then average, okay, if it is else average, and as second condition, see now it will display its average 1250. Okay, so in this way you can write down up to how many levels you can write down? You can write down up to 32 levels, sorry 16 levels. You can write down 16 conditions on this case. When department number equal to 10, then MSBA. When department number equal to 20, then Informatica. When department number equal to 30, when department number equal to 40, until you can write down the 16 conditions in 2008 R2. So in 2012, I'm not sure. Okay, so we have to check. So this is the case when condition. It will check on a particular table, on a particular column, the values. So whatever the condition you have written, if it is something, then I want to display this one. If it is something, then I want to display this one. So which condition it is satisfying, so it will print, it will do after then whatever you have mentioned here. Okay, so instead of this MSBA, if you want to print the employee name, okay, so if simply, for example, if it is department number 10, so whatever the employee name is there, I want to display the employee name instead of good, sorry, instead of MSBA. So simply write down in place of this MSBA, the column name you can write down employee name. See, for the department number 10s, it is displaying the employee names. This is also department number, it is displaying employee name. Only when the department number equal to 10, it will display the whatever the employee name of that salary. The remaining, if it is 20, Informatica. Other than 10, 20, it will display data stage. Okay, so this is about the case when condition in the SQL Server. It's very, very, very important. Okay, even in your real-time scenarios also, you have to write down this case when condition. Okay, right. So the next one is I have a table select star from EMP. This is one of the table, and in this table whatever the data I have, like a employee number, employee name, salary. So this data I want to move into another table. For example, another table is select star from EMP1 table. So I want to take higher data also. Okay. So whatever the data in EMP table, I want to copy into EMP1 table. EMP1 table is empty. Don't have anything. Simple. I want to take a backup. This employee number I want to load into employee number. This employee name I want to load into employee name. This salary I want to load into salary table. And this hire date I want to load into joining date. So any idea how can we do this? Simply you can execute this one and copy this data, copy and go over here under MSBI, under tables, okay, under what is the table, EMP1 table. Go over here, right click, edit top 200 rows, click over here, right click, paste over here. Done. Just close it. We'll check whether it is loaded or not. Loaded, but the salary is not yet loaded. So there is something wrong. Means, so this is not the correct proper way to load the data, because here you have only 14 rows and you have loaded the 14 rows simply. You have copied the 14 rows. If you have 1 crore of the rows, so is it possible to copy 1 crore rows, and if you want to edit over here? Definitely it is difficult and you can't do. So in that situation, how can we achieve this inserting the records from one table to another table by writing a SQL command? So we have one SQL command, that is insert into, so to which table you want to load the data? The table is EMP1. So into EMP1 table I want to load the data. So what are the columns you have in this EMP1? Employee number, employee name, salary, joining date. Okay, insert into EMP1, employee number, employee name, salary, joining date. So what are the columns and from which table you want to take the data? I want to take the data from employee table. The list of the columns are employee name, salary, joining date from EMP. Okay, sorry, hire date. Whatever the data is coming from this query, I want to load this data into this table. From EMP to EMP1 table I want to load the data, and this employee number I want to insert into employee number, employee name I want to insert into employee name, salary I want to insert into salary, and joining date I want to insert into hire date. Okay, right. So how can we do this one? So if you are executing this command, it will insert the data. First I want to truncate the EMP1 table. Truncate table EMP1. Command completed successfully. Employee number, employee name, salary, joining date. So now you can execute this command. 14 rows copied. See, load it. 14 rows, whatever the data is coming from this query, we are loaded into this table. So what is the syntax? Insert into, to which table you want to load and what are the list of the columns, okay, and then select what are the list of the columns from this table. Clear? Right. So in this situation, this table and this table should be existing in your database. Then only you can do this, you can perform this operation. Right? So now my requirement is, I don't have any table here to load the data. I want to create a table as well as I want to load the data. Whatever the data is coming from this query, I want to create a table with the same structure and same column names, but the table name is different. Okay, I want to create a table like emp underscore copy 1. This is the table name, and this table should have the column names employee number, employee name, salary, hire date, and the data types also should be same. And I want to copy the data from emp to emp underscore copy 1. Okay, right. So how can we do this one? Select what are the list of the columns you are going to fetch from the emp table. You have to specify employee number, employee name, salary, okay, hire date, okay. Select employee number, employee name, salary, hire date, into what is the new table name you want to create? I want to create the copy underscore emp. From which table you want to take the data and structure? From emp table. Okay, so I am going to create a table. The table name is copy underscore emp. So this table will take the structure and the data from emp table. So what are the list of the columns you want to take from the emp table? Those are employee number, employee name, salary, hire date. Okay, right. So till now I don't have any table with the copy underscore emp. You can check. Select star from copy underscore emp. So you can execute this one. Invalid object name, because we don't have any table with the copy underscore emp. So that is the reason it is displaying invalid object name copy underscore emp. So once you are executing this command, it will create a table as well as it will insert the data into the table. See, execute, 40 rows copied. Now we can execute. See, the structure, it is copied from the same structure. Whatever the structure is here, the same structure it is copied, and whatever the data inside there, it is getting the data. Clear? Any confusion over here? So these are the two statements very important in the SQL Server. So these are the two statements very important. Okay, so even in interviews also they will ask the questions like this way. Okay, so what is the syntax for the insert into from another table to a different table? How to insert a data from one table to another table in SQL Server level? Okay, and another one is, I don't have any table, so we have to create a table and you have to insert the data. Sometimes when you are going to truncate this table data, it is better always first create a same kind of table, backup table, and then you can truncate the data. Okay, because after you are truncating, if you want to revert back, you can't. So that is the reason by using this select command into this new table, this is a kind of a backup table you can feel from this table. Then you can truncate the data in EMP table. Later if you want, yes, you can move the data from this table to this table. Okay. These are the two commands: insert into, select from a table, and select into from a table. Okay, right. So the next commands we are going to discuss are constraints in SQL Server. What are the constraints we have in a SQL Server? What is a constraint? A constraint is a condition on a column. So these are the predefined constraints in the SQL Server. It's a kind of rules. So if you are creating a particular type of constraint on a column in a table, so when you are going to insert the data into that particular column, it will validate the data. Okay, it will validate the data. Whatever the data you are inserting, it should satisfy that condition. Then only it will allow to insert the data. Okay, so how can we write down this one? What are the constraints we have in the SQL Server? So we have 5 to 6 type of constraints in SQL Server. So one constraint is not null constraint, and the second one is default constraint, and the next one is check constraint. These are the domain integrity constraints. These three are the domain integrity constraints. Other than these three, we have referential integrity constraints. What are those referential integrity constraints? Primary key, unique key, foreign key. Okay, these are the constraints we have. First we'll see about these domain integrity constraints. So what are these domain integrity constraints? What is a not null constraint? Right. So I want to create a table. So I will choose another database. BIDB I want to choose. Okay. So in this BIDB, I don't have any tables. I think this is the only one table. I want to drop this table. You can delete or you can drop like this way. Right. So create a table. The table name is EMP. The default schema name is dbo.emp. You don't need to provide the dbo. By default it will take the dbo. If you are creating this table under any other schema, you have to specify the schema name dot table name. First you have to create the schema name also. Okay, right. So in this table, employee number, the data type is int. Okay, and employee name, the value is varchar data type. The salary is integer. Okay, right. So what I want to do, after you are creating this table, You can insert the data either into employee number, either into salary. Employee name is an optional. You can insert the data into employee name, salary, employee number is optional. It will display null value, it will take null value. If you are not inserting a value into a particular column, then it will take the null value. But if you are creating a constraint, not null constraint on any of the column, it don't take any null values. Definitely must and should you have to insert the value. Okay, for example, the constraint name I want to write down like this way, not null constraint. If you are putting not null constraint, must and should you have to insert the value for employee number. For example, if you are trying to insert data into employee name and salary only, you are not inserting any value to employee number. What will happen? It will throw the error because you have a not null constraint on this column employee number. Okay, so if you are executing this one, command completed successfully. Okay, now I am trying to insert the data. Insert into EMP and the list of columns. For example, I want to insert the data into only employee name, comma, salary. Values are on, comma, 3000. See what will happen? Cannot insert the value null into the employee number. So when you are going to insert the employee name column and salary column, so this employee number column, what it will do? It will trying to take the null value, but you have a constraint, not null constraint on this table. So it don't allow to insert null value. That is the error is coming. Cannot insert the value null into the column name employee number. On which table? On this database, on this schema, on this table. And which column? That is employee number column. This column does not allow nulls. Insert fail. This is the error description. So what you have to do now? So you have to must and insert the data for employee number also. Right? Employee number column. So what is the employee number? I want to insert the employee number is as 100. You can execute. One row affected. Now it is inserted because you are passing a value for the employee number. So not null constraint is satisfying. You can check whether the data is inserted or not. Success. Okay, right. So I want to drop the table EMP. Right, now there is no table. Right, so now what I want to do, whenever you are not inserting any data for the employee name, for example, if you want to insert only data for employee number and salary. Okay, if you are inserting the data for employee number and salary, so in that situation, what I want to do, by default I want to insert a value as RAM. If you are not giving any employee name, so what I'm going to do here, I want to create a constraint, that is default constraint. The default constraint name is RAM. So whenever you are not inserting any value for the employee name column, by default it will take and insert the value as RAM. We'll check. First create this table, command completed successfully. So I don't want to insert any value for the employee name column, only employee number, salary I want to insert. Okay, right. So we'll see, execute it. One row affected, check, RAM is inserted. How it is inserted? Because the default value you have specified is RAM. If you want to insert a value for the employee name, yes, it will take whatever the value you are inserting. No problem. Swaram. See, one more row affected. We'll check. See, 100, Ram 3000, 100, Swaran 3000. Clear? Right. That is default constraint. Whatever the value you want to insert as a default, you can create the default constraint. Whatever the value you are created as a check constraint. Check means before you are going to insert the data, it will check this condition, whatever the condition you are specifying. Right, I want to specify a condition on the salary column. Check salary greater than 5,000, then only I want to insert the data. Whenever you are going to insert the value for the salary column, if it is greater than 5,000, then only it will allow to insert. Okay, so I want to drop this table. See, I created a new table. So this table having three constraints. One is on employee number, not null constraint. The second one is default constraint on the employee name, and the third one is check constraint on salary column. Okay, right. So now if you are trying to insert the value for this employee number 100, okay, and an employee name Soran, okay, and the salary is 3000. What happened? The insert statement conflicted with the check constraint. Whenever you are creating any constraint, it will create a constraint name automatically. Okay, the conflict occurred in the database VIDB. The table is dbo.emp column salary. What conflict is occurred? The conflict is the condition you have written here. It is if the salary is greater than 5,000. Okay, if the salary is greater than 5,000, then only it will allow to insert. But you are trying to insert the value 3,000. So the constraint conflict occurred. If you are trying to insert the value 5,000 or 6,000, then it will allow to insert. See, wonder effect. Employee number 100, employee name Swaran, and the salary is 6,000. Clear? These are the three domain integrity constraints in the SQL Server. Right, come to this integrity constraints, primary key and unique key, and referential integrity constraint means foreign key. So what is a primary key constraint? Any idea, guys? What is a primary key constraint? So the primary key means whenever you are creating a primary key on a table, create table emp employee number integer employee name varchar and salary integer. Okay, so if I am creating a primary key column on this employee number column, once you are creating this primary key, it don't allow any duplicate values. For example, if you are inserting 100 as the employee number, again if you are going to insert the 100 as the second employee name, employee number, it don't allow, because it's a duplicate value, no repetition. So you have to maintain the distinct values, no duplication, and also it don't allow any null value. Okay, always you have to insert a numeric value. It don't allow null values. Okay, right. So if I am creating this primary key, just simply you can put primary key. So once you are creating the primary key in a particular column, the column don't allow any null values. The column don't allow any duplicate values. We'll check. Command completed successfully. I want to insert into EMP table employee number, employee name, salary, values 100, comma 1000. So if you are executing this one, yes, inserted successfully. Okay, you can see the data. Okay guys, so many times I did this mistake. It's a type of mistake. So if I am executing this query, what will happen? How many number of rows in your EMP table? That many number of times it will print 8. See, you have only one row. That is the reason it is printing 8 as one time. Okay, right, pull it. So come to star. So this is the data you have. Again, if you are trying to insert the employee number, same. The employee name I am going to change Swaran and the salary I want to make 2000. What will happen? Execute it. Violation of primary key constraints. So whenever you are getting these kind of error messages, so immediately you have to think, okay, this error means it's a primary key violation. There are duplication value we are going to insert. See, so that is the reason you have to by heart these errors also sometimes. If you are looking on the error, you have to tell the issue. Okay, this is the issue, you have to resolve like this way. Violation of primary key constraint. So there is a primary key constraint on your table. So it's violating that primary key. Cannot insert duplicate key in object EMP. Okay, cannot insert any duplicates into whatever the primary key column you have created. So the duplicate value is 100 you are trying to insert here. It is displaying the duplicate key value is 100 you are trying to insert again. So you can simply change that value 200. One row affected. So now it is inserted because it's not a duplicate value. Okay, I don't want to insert any value for the employee number. What will happen? It will try to insert the null value. So cannot insert the null value into the column employee number because the employee number column having primary key constraint. It don't allow no null values, no duplicates. Guys, clear about the primary key constraint? The next constraint is unique key constraint. So what is the difference between the primary key and unique key? Very simple. The primary key don't allow any duplicate values. Yes, unique key also. It is also don't allow any duplicate values. But the only difference is the unique key constraint will allow only one single value. Okay, it will allow only one single null value. But in the primary key, even it don't allow single null value also. Okay, it will allow single null value. How many primary key constraints you can create on a single table? You can create only one primary key on a one column. You can't create on two different columns. The default constraint and check constraint, not null constraints, you can create on many number of tables, many number of columns in a single table. So this default constraint you can create on the employee number. The same default constraint you can create on the employee name. You can create on the salary also. But the primary key constraint you can create on a single column only. On which column you are going to create, that column should be not null and no duplicates. The unique key constraint is, you can create many number of unique key constraints if the column having no duplicates and the column having only one null value. That is your choice. But the max it will allow to insert a value is nulls is only one single null value it will allow. So what is the syntax to create the unique key constraint? Simply you can put like this way, unique key. So you just put unique key, right? So I want to drop this table, create this column as unique key. So we are trying to insert a value, OneDrive affected, that is null value. Again, if you are going to insert a null value, it don't allow, because only one null value it will allow. Okay, so I want to insert the employee number as 100. OneDrive affected. So again, if you are going to insert the same 100 value, it don't allow, because unique key constraint not allow any duplicates. So you have to insert this value, OneDrive affected. See, 3 are different values. If you are trying to insert any of value whatever already existing, then it don't allow, it's a duplicate. Unique key means any value, not repetitive. Okay, right. So what about this foreign key constraint? I have two tables. Okay, I have two tables. One is EMP table and the columns are employee number, employee name, salary and department number. And the next table is department table. So in this table having department's information, department name, employee number is 100, RAM 10. Okay, it's 200, Swaran and 2000. I will let you know the departments later. So I have two departments, and this is MSBI and this is Informatica. Okay, these are the two departments I have. So this employee number column is a primary key column, because don't have any duplicates, no null values. When I am creating this EM department table also, I want to create a primary key on the department number. Okay, so this is a primary key column, this is a primary key column. So what about this department number? I am going to create a foreign key on this department number. What is the usage to create the foreign key? If you are creating the foreign key, when you are going to create the foreign key, on which column you are going to create the foreign key, so that column is going to refer the primary key column of another table. So this department number is going to refer the primary key column of the department table. Okay, this department number is going to refer the primary key column of the department table. So if it is referring the primary key column of another table, whatever the value you are going to insert into this column, those values should be existing in this table, this column. On which column you are referring? For example, if you are trying to insert 10, yes, it will allow to insert. If you are trying to insert 20, yes, it will allow. But if you are trying to insert 30, it will throw the error because the 30 is not existing in this column. Whatever the value you are going to insert, first it will check in this table. If the value is not there, it don't allow. So that is the reason whenever you are inserting a value into the foreign key column, first you have to insert that value into department table. Okay, right. So first I am going to create a department table. Table DEPT department number integer primary key comma department name varchar 100. So another table is create table emp employee number int primary key comma employee name varchar 100 comma the next one is salary integer comma department number. You can give a different column names, it's not a mandatory. For example, I can give department number int. So the syntax to create a foreign key is what we are going to do here. This column is going to refer the primary key column of the department table. So foreign key references which table and which column it is referencing, department table department number column. Okay, so you can create this table. So the employee table is already there, you can drop the table. Now you can execute this. Command completed successfully. So two tables you have created. Now I want to insert the data into this EMP table. So employee number, employee name, salary, comma department number. So the department number is 20. The insert statement conflict with the foreign key constraint is one. See, because when you are inserting the 20 is not existing in our department table. Select star from DEPT. So first you have to insert into department 20 comma informatica. Sorry. Values you have to write down. Okay, I'm going to insert into this one. Then if you are trying to insert this value, yes, it will allow now. So that is the referential integrity constraint. It's a foreign key constraint. So the usage of this one is it is avoiding unnecessary values. When you are, for example, by mistakenly you are trying to insert 30, but we don't have any department 30 in my organization. In my university, we don't have any department number 30. So it will check before you are going to insert the value. If you are trying to insert the wrong value, it will indicate, it will throw the error. Okay, so these are the constants in the SQL.